7.
Oh, 7 star citizens, and welcome. Nah, JK, I'm not actually here. Goodbye, guys. 07, welcome to Answer the Call, your weekly podcast and call-in show. My camera is perfectly fine, and it's definitely all Mike's fault. I have never had any problems with the internet ever.
Discord's being weird, so you'll see this every once in a while. We're gonna try and that's his camera right now, so we're gonna try and get it working. But Croncy is here, and
I am here.
So at least we have an option for when he's here, but his camera's not working as well as for when he's not here. So it's all good. But yeah, this is the Answer the Call podcast where we talk about Star Citizen and open up the calls to you guys. So get in the queue if you guys have not yet. We got one person there right now, so we can get a couple in there. But topics that we're going to talk about today, 4.3 news. There's some stuff that's been going on, especially around light fighters. There's 2 tech previews that are coming. And yeah, just kind of the little goings on, month of report stuff, probably more than anything.
Yeah. I would also recommend, because the PTU went to live during the podcast, like went to open during the podcast
it might
last
be
week,
worth a discussion.
If you have if you have anything you want to talk about it, make sure you call in.
Yeah, because that wasn't exactly the topic from last week. Going straight from Evo to live is pretty good. So
yeah.
All right. What do you want to start with?
Let's talk tech preview, I think, actually.
Okay.
Because
do we
finally?
Yeah. Should I bring up the monthly report for that? You think?
There is a little bit of talk of the tech preview in the monthly report, but I think it was just a message of the day, right? Was the only information we got specifically about a tech preview happening in the next couple of days.
Yes, and it's an Evo Cotty message of the day. I'm putting it in week in review because I literally don't care. But I don't know if that's appropriate or not. So I won't show it to, at risk of showing something in the testing chat or something like that. But the message of the day says that there's going to be a tech preview tomorrow.
Yeah.
That is Vulkan and AI update focused, but not too many details.
Yeah.
There's been if we talk about monthly report, so many AI updates over the last year and a half, 2 years.
Yep.
And not a lot of those have translated into the PU. Some have, not everything. Like NPCs using railguns, never.
Mm-hmm.
Rocket launchers, those things never happened. Driving vehicles never happened. There's a lot of things about ships, like them flying ships and around stations and planets
and ground
things
vehicles
like that.
And stuff.
Yeah, all that. And so, is that part of this? I have no idea. So we'll see. And then the obvious one is Vulkan, which sounds like we're gonna throw this. We're going to throw this guy in there. It's going to be crashy, and we are going to get those crashes, and we're going to fix some things. So I don't know if we're going to see massive performance improvements. I think they've said that we won't in previous, the Ali Brown guy types all the time and is like, I don't think this is going to be a huge performance improvement with the initial release of Vulkan. So we'll see. But
yeah, it's mostly about making sure that it works and doesn't crash everyone's system forever anytime it's used, right?
Which was the whole thing in the letter from the chairman and all that. So we kind of got to praise them and stuff. See if your camera popped in. It didn't. But yeah, so I don't know. I look at this more as a positive of doing what you said you were going to do, moving certain features or tech forward, and that's what we need. And I don't have a lot of negative to say about it. It's just we'll see how it goes and see what they do with the information that they gather. Very curious about the AI, obviously, but I don't think we were given any details. So what are we supposed to expect?
No, it said, I think it said behavioral AI improvements, if I'm not mistaken. So that there's been some assumptions that I've seen of people saying that that's Squadron AI. It could be. To some extent, we're obviously not going to get the same as Squadron AI because it is a different game. The AI will work differently. You want them to work differently. But maybe there's some weird behaviors in there that we'll see. When we do get to the monthly report, which we'll probably do next, but when we do get to the monthly report, there are some mentions of some specific AI things that
of course
are also still coming, but I don't think they're a part of this. The big thing though is that finally tech preview. 8 months into the year. We're finally into our first tech preview build. Luckily, once again, in the monthly report, they mentioned there's another one coming soon. And it's the one that we are expecting. So
yeah,
finally.
I guess we'll jump into that, and I'll just move to the monthly report part where they talk about it. The thing everyone has been waiting for. It was a bit of a topic today as well. About like on my stream we were talking, and is engineering gonna solve everything? Or like a lot of people are excited about engineering, but yeah, I don't know. Oh, let me put you up here as well. There you go.
I don't know if you guys know, I'm actually a ventriloquist.
Yeah. But a lot of people are really, really excited for this, but I think we're more, well, maybe not excited. It's been something we've anticipated for a really long time. A lot of people want multi-crew to be good. A lot of people think engineering is going to make multi-crew good. Everything we know about engineering, for me personally, I feel like it's going to make things tedious, maybe, and make solo flying ships maybe more difficult. I don't exactly know what to expect here. I feel very similar about this tech preview as I do the other one. Is we'll just have to see how it goes. I think this is all about gathering feedback, finding out where the problems are, and fixing those before ever bringing it onto a live server with us. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Yeah.
Obviously, it's exciting, but is engineering going to fix everything?
Curious. Definitely. No, I'm really curious. Actually, I don't know if you do this. Engineering solves server errors. That's known. Yeah. I'm really curious how drastically different this is going to be to engineering that we had. Was it last year? It was last year, right? When it was in tech preview. Like,
yeah.
It was like in the experimental mode.
Yeah.
It's been so long now since it's been there, and just not available at all. I really want to know what they learned from it and how they decided to go forward with the addition of all the other stuff they wanted to put in. Because we
did
also
they listen to everyone's concerns? A lot of people were like, "This sounds incredibly tedious. Fire, all this other crap." Like visually cool, but will it be fun?
Yeah, and even then, like they mention it here, is like some of the UI improvements in regards to like what do they talk about? The diagnostics and the engineering screens have been unified and stuff. Like
they were hard to read.
It was really, really hard to read previously. I want to see where that's all evolved. But I also really hope that this first system, maybe not necessarily literal first tech preview patch that has it, but really, really soon after, has the things like the they talked about, like you would generate oxygen with certain things on your larger ships, right? That aspect of engineering never came into it last year. So there was a big portion of it that we just didn't know anything about. I just want to see what it is.
Yeah, for sure. So for me, it comes down to like, is it actually fun, and will it be like? Because I definitely think the maintaining of your ship and having your ship be your own. I think the biggest thing is what we got from that experimental mode was I found it to be incredibly nice that my ship didn't explode when it died.
Yeah.
And it was, all right, we are disabled, but we're able to fly around the ship and leave and move and all that stuff. Guys, we know Croncy is frozen. This is for the live chat. We've already talked about this. His camera's not working right now, so please stop mentioning it. Thank you. The like maybe I'll just put it on the title or something. We know Croncy's camera's frozen. But that was like my favorite part about it was like, all right, we're dead, but we're not out. Right? The ship is done, but we're not out. And that felt really good because the game mode was very much about because it was an arena commander mode. So if you killed everybody on the other side, the game, that's when that round ended. So even though our ship might have been destroyed, if they came to try to board it and they were forced to in order to try to complete that round, if we killed all of them, then we won. So it was like, you're dead, but you're not out. It was like a really nice thing.
Yeah.
And I think we know the other aspects of this is like, okay, your ship died. Now are they going to bring in the punishments for claiming and insurance. Like this
Yes,
this
right.
plays a role in the bigger game, and so it just really comes down to how much of this are we going to see in the tech preview, or are they just trying to get a vibe for like, is repairing your power plant feel good, and are the components staying alive long enough for you? You know, very similar to the experimental mode, but in the PU. We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I definitely loved the sort of aspect of like, not even like you're not down. Sorry, you're down but you're not out. But like the aspect of like losing an engine felt like losing an engine. Someone could shoot down my engine right now in game, and I'm just kind of shafted. But having it be a thing of like, we have an obstacle we can overcome. At the same time, we still have to fight all these people. Felt like a really like that's what I want engineering to be in the short term, right? Like in those short term fights, that's what I wanted it to be. So I really liked that. But you did bring up a good point. Is like, what's their next level of engineering? They have to figure that out, presumably with this tech preview or just afterwards, right? How does this impact people in 6 months' time in the PU when, yeah, they might engineer during a fight, but then they're still just going to claim afterwards, or they're just going to, you know, grab someone else's that they've got stored or whatever, right?
Yeah, there's too many situations in the current game where it's like, I backspace, whatever, right? So there's that. Oh, yeah, I'll do the same. There you go. Your mod pinned it in your chat that your cam's broken. I'll pin it in mine.
I also want to put this erasure of saying that it's my camera that's not working. My camera's working perfectly fine.
Discord is not working.
Going on.
Discord's not working.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I am fine.
Yeah. I think we're blaming you because it's probably Discord Australian internet. So like, you're Australian, so the blame is kind of on you for living in Australia when you can live anywhere. It's like totally a choice of where you live. So
so true.
Just live in Europe if you want. Like, just go to Europe. But yeah, so I don't know. It's that we'll see. We'll see. There's no date on this either. We have the date for the other one. Obviously, it'll be on Monday. Well, Waka said it, so it'll be on Friday. Yeah. But
if I had a prediction, I would say pre-SitCon at least. Like I would say they'd likely try to get this in before then, because they probably have something to say about it. They probably have some sort of,
or
you know,
it's after SitCon and they show it at SitCon and then release it right after or during.
Maybe. If it's like more fleshed out than just, hey, it's the same patch as last year, right?
Yeah, like I feel like this year's SitCon is just a bunch of ISCs, and I would imagine an ISC on engineering would be a thing, right? So we'll see.
Yeah.
But 100%. Yeah, I don't know. You want to go into other stuff in the monthly? I can scroll all the way up.
To the top. So, one of the cooler things that I noticed in this month's monthly report, and as always, make sure you guys read the monthly report. It is one of the best ways to understand what, at the very least, CRG think they are doing at the moment, month to month. It was either AI content or AI features. So I'm going to have a really, really quick look here. But they are looking at a new combat behavior. It's like a push. There's something about like a shove. Let's Control F. That's gonna work it. There we go. For human combat, so it's in the AI features. For human combat, the team fixed numerous smaller bugs and issues. They also added various polished features, including a close-range shove attack that allows the AI to respond rapidly to the player or other NPCs getting too close. That's kind of cool. Sweet.
Yeah.
Give us the option to do that too. That would be dope. Because the implication here is it's just the AI doing it to us. But yeah, it's just a cool little thing.
Agreed. I like that. There's also new creatures, and this is the thing that I stuck out to me was a prototype gameplay for a boss fight. So is it like another worm, or is it another creature? Because developing new creatures plus, so it's almost certainly a new creature. So we'll see on that, which is cool.
I do imagine so. Just quickly, because they talk about boss fights a couple of times during this,
something's gonna happen.
So Yeah, so story-wise, I think there's two ways this could go. We could be heading towards the like actual larger Valakar, the non-irradiated ones, like the ones that we saw
Yep.
at CitizenCon that they were fighting with ships and stuff. That feels like a natural progression. In addition, they've been teasing a lot of new, like proper new fauna over the last few months. I
Blue
would not be
milk
surprised if
cow.
we see like, yeah, there's the blue milk cow that has like the big horns,
Yeah.
right? There's also the Yeti. The Yeti got mentioned. It was a while ago now. It probably would have been like 6 months ago, but it was getting worked on. So yeah. Anyway,
I don't know. The like for AI game intelligence, I pointed out like they just mission system V2 work, but nothing crazy there. Anything for AI tech stick out to you? I usually skip over that because it's very technical.
Yeah, not so much. Just that there's apparently it's just like fixes for their location stuff apparently, or not necessarily fixes, but like new features for them putting in locations, which they have been spewing out. Right in 4.3, we've got 100 of these new locations.
Yeah.
So
also,
good
this location looks kind of different, unique, maybe forward operating base kind of. I feel like we maybe seen them there, but yeah, I like this. Well, I don't know if I like this or not. I think it just means this is for the new Kruger ship. Maybe it's unique, different, special.
Which is sick, right? Yeah. Like that's awesome. I love unique entrances and whatnot. One of my favorite ships to.
But I hate being stuck in the Star Citizen animation, so I'm kind of like annoyed.
Oh, sure,
right.
That's fair. But like getting into the Santok Yai is dope as hell, right? Like the like floating stairs come out and then you hop in and I don't know. Like I think there's cool stuff that they can do with that for sure. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's sort of anytime you lose control of your character and it's just forced into something isn't fun.
No. Character art, more armor variants. So nothing. Flight suits is the big thing there. So I don't know if we're gonna see armor do things like we saw at CitizenCon 2023 and 2024, but nothing there. And then we move into ships. So Anvil Paladin, Gray Box review. Turret stuff is what's been frustrating them. I like what we see about the Drake Ironclad. Very nice.
Yeah. Still in white box, right?
Yeah. Both trying to figure out how we navigate through it. It's a big ship, and a lot of the ships.
Yeah, for sure.
Navigation sucks. So if they're spending some time on that and have learned from all the other ships they've made, maybe this one will be better. I don't know.
I would say if it's still in white box at this rate, I don't think we're seeing the Ironclad by IAE.
No, probably not. Maybe end of the year.
Too late now. Maybe end of the year. Could be an end of year patch thing. Possibly. I don't know. We'll see. They talk about the Perseus later, and that's very clearly IAE. So it's like that's kind of what you gotta compare it with.
Yep. 4 unannounced ships. One of them is clearly this Kruger one. So maybe 3 now.
Yeah. What I like though, the third continues development with all of its rooms receiving further geometry. All I mean, it's just big ship. Cool. I'm excited.
Sounds big. They showed this is definitely the Apollo, right? They're showing the inside of the Apollo. A bed here, a bed here. 2 things. I don't know what's in the center. Probably very
an elevator.
Connie, Connie elevator like. Very RSI, and I don't think anybody likes the Connie elevator, so I don't know why we're doing more of it. And then, the rest of the stuff will be in the back, and then we got the
Perseus, right?
Yeah, this is definitely the Perseus. I'm sorry, I was reading the top where it said Apollo Medevac, and then, you could definitely tell it's the Perseus because of that gun right there is like the classic.
Oh, true,
Perseus, right?
That's the big. What is it? A size 7.
Yeah, that's
supposed to be on the top.
That's what the ship's all about. And then the Drake Kraken, still in pre-production, and like they said at the end of the year, that's when they'll be doing that. Skip community because who cares?
I just quickly on the Kraken. I do like that they are continuing to be like, look, we're working on the Ironclad, but it does have a lot of crossover with the Kraken. So pretty much every time that they've mentioned the Ironclad the last few months, it's been like, oh, by the way, also Kraken.
Yeah,
it's in conjunction.
They're gonna help each other get made, which is good. Community, whatever. Core gameplay. I lost my top on this one. Throughout July, the core gameplay teams focused on freight elevators, providing fixes for critical issues raised during the resource drive event. These were not raised during the resource drive event, you absolute clowns. These were raised since freight elevators existed, and everybody told you about them forever. Wake up, open your eyes, and stop being this way, please. Thank you.
That was an editing issue, Mike. They forgot to put re-raised during the resource
re-raised for the 600th time. Give me a break. All right, rant over. Let's be happy now, because that pissed me off so much. I'm mad. I'm getting mad. I'm getting mad.
In that case, I'll go to the first thing that I'm
Please
not
do.
really happy or sad about. I'm just I like that they're talking about, which they mentioned crafting. So for crafting, the team continued reevaluated, which I assume they mean continued reevaluated.
How do you go right to the thing that pisses me off? That's the only other thing that pisses me off. How do you go right to the only other thing that is horrible in this update?
So well,
yeah, this is really bad.
Yeah, reevaluating the scope for the first public release, and then they talk about the inventory UI that we saw a couple weeks ago.
You don't reevaluate the scope for a public release unless you're pulling back on it.
Well, I don't know if we really had a feeling of what the public release was going to look like anyway.
Well, the only thing we knew, agreed. But the only thing that we knew was what we saw at CitizenCon 2024. So it was lots of blueprints, mining updates, this like building ships, building bases. I don't think building space stations. Obviously, I think that was out of the question.
Yeah.
And so, like, what are they pulling back on?
That's like way down.
Yeah. Like, what are they pulling back on? Right. And I'm so tired of, at this stage, this many years in, to get a completely trash tier 0 thing. So I'm just really hoping it's not that. Right. And I hope it is, maybe it's not all ships, but it better be some. And, FPS weapons, armor, like, please have things included here. Like, please do not do, you're crafting a couple of things and they're not even meta. And I'll just be so disappointed because, again,
that's.
Go ahead, and then I'll kind of say why I'm so frustrated.
It's sort of what I was gonna say. Is like, I think, like you're not wrong. Obviously, like you reevaluate when something has either been taken away or much more unlikely something's been added, and like they can add more stuff, which is just not gonna be the case. But I think it's more likely that it's the case that like they probably have like a release schedule sort of thing for this, where it's like, hey, we want to make sure that there's some aspect of crafting in by this date, whatever that might be, and that's where the reevaluation comes from. It's like, all right, well, what can we have out in some type of state for crafting by whenever?
Yeah, but why do we keep doing that?
And then obviously the hope is that it's good.
Yeah, but we keep doing it. We got to have it by this date, and we don't care if it's shit. It's like, it can't be shit anymore, right? People are getting tired of it being shit, and they want it to be fun, and they want it to be like, here's my frustrations with this is you come out with a letter for the chairman, you say you're not going to do anything this year except for focus on making the game play better, more playability, and all those things, right? And you know what? I had your back on that. I said, that's a great idea. You should have been doing that years ago. I'm glad you're doing it now. I got your back. That's a good idea. Okay? And with that, like, after being so excited for everything that I saw at crafting at SitCon 2024, and I went, I know I'm not going to get crafting this year, and that's okay because they're doing the right thing. So when crafting comes in, it's going to be more fun. They did not do that. They did not live up to their expectations for this year, and now they're already pulling back on crafting, on what it's going to be. Because for me, the pain and suffering that all of us are dealing with right now in terms of, what to do with Star Citizen and all that. And this is more, I'm going to be 100% honest here. The bias on this is, as a content creator, I said, I will sacrifice my career or my job or whatever this year for the game to be better. I got your back. My career will suffer this year because of the choices that you're making, but I still don't care because I know it's the right choice. But now, all I want to do and everything that makes me happy is crafting. Like that's what I want to live for in this game, and I was willing to wait out this year for that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, and now that pot of gold looks like fucking coal already. So it's rough. It's rough, and that's
I agree with everything you just said. I do want everyone to remember what Mike just said when we get to a later section of the monthly report, because it might make some of you feel a little bit better about some of that.
Yeah, I might feel better in general about. I mean, I feel better in general about almost everything in the monthly report besides those two things. Just to be clear, but yeah, when you hear they're pulling back, it's like, how much have you already pulled back, and how fucking tier 0 is this going to be? Because we already have tier 0 crafting.
Yeah. Which,
we already have it.
Yeah, my prediction for what this is starting to look like is they will choose some aspect of gameplay, whether it be weapons or armor or modules, that sort of thing, and they'll just do that and then go from there.
It's just crazy to me. All these assets already exist in the game. Like this, I don't understand why this stuff's so complicated. You're crafting assets that already exist. I feel like it's some stupid thing that Chris wants us to be able to see the item being crafted, and they need all these animations, and they need to break down every item now into a bunch of pieces. Like, I just feel like that's what it's got to be, because what they showed at CitizenCon was everything was behind a closed door, and then it just appeared. It was some lights flashed, and the ship showed up. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't say that's what this is talking about, just because a lot of what you just described is a lot of like visual design stuff. This sounds like mechanically, what is the scope? So in the 2024, they talk about, like the mineral composition and like the grades of the minerals.
Sure.
Rescoping would be, are we even doing that? Or are we just going to give please do, because it was cool.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, that's where
pyro
my
purpose.
Is like that. Those sort of things are like, are we doing that right off the bat, or are we, doing that later?
Yeah, we'll see. I just hope it's. I hope it's like here. I'll just say what my hope is for this first public release is a wide net cast on what we can craft, but keep it simple and build the depth as we go from here, right? Which is basically what an alpha should be. So I hope we're able to craft ships, and nearly all of the ships, maybe not ones that can only be docked or something like that. So I don't know, maybe a limit in size, all weapons, all armors, all ammo, all ship components. Allow us to do it. Maybe only utilize a few materials, not a ton of materials, and get a sense for what you want to do with the tiers and stuff. And that's it. Or maybe not even include tiers. And I would be okay with that as well for a start.
Which, that could be part of the rescoping too.
Yeah. So if they remove the tiers, I wouldn't be upset.
I'll
just say that.
I have to mention it, and this may make you more upset, Mike.
Okay.
Because it made me upset when I just thought about it. One thing that this could be is a reevaluation because of tier 0, tier 1 item recovery and tier 2 item recovery and stuff. And when they
you know what? Hopefully it is. We realize how stupid they are, and we need to change them. So maybe it's a really good thing. Maybe they're really waking up.
Item recovery.
Yeah, because it's fucking dumb. Hey, we're allowed to curse a lot more on Twitch or on YouTube, by the way, so it's okay.
I saw that.
Yeah,
they respect my culture now.
Exactly, and mine, my New Jersey culture. But hey, right below, can we go to something really positive?
Yeah, right below.
Literally right below this is something awesome. Let's get to the good stuff. Yeah. This is actually really good. I think potentially you could take this a bad way as well if you want to, but I'm not. But I will. I will share the way you can take it badly, but I'm not taking it that way. For hacking, more options were added to help teach players how to use the feature alongside bug fixing. What does that mean?
Yay.
That means,
who knows?
Oh, I think I know what it means. You don't focus on how to how to help teach players how to use the feature if the feature isn't already in a state that you're happy with and almost ready to deliver, but
sure.
realizing that, hey, we need to teach people how to use it a little bit better because it might be a bit confusing here, might be a bit confusing there. That means that they're kind of happy with it. Hacking is not, I see Twitch chat saying hacking's already in. It's not, you put a thing into a thing and press a button. That's not hacking.
I was going to say, it is clearly also more complicated than like what hacking has been, because there's no world a new player needs to know how to do hacking in the current game.
Do you think they're going to do Eve hacking?
Insert and press button.
Do you think they'll do Eve hacking, like Minesweeper gameplay?
Not exactly that, but I'm sure it'll be more. Like more player involved. Like I do like that one, but I think it's too unique. It needs to be specific to Eve. I really like the Cyberpunk 2077 hacking.
I've never played, so I don't know.
You're just doing a little puzzle, right?
Okay.
Like if most of the time you're not going to fail it, but it costs time to do it and whatnot, and so it's just fun.
Cool.
So I would say somewhere between there would be nice.
Yeah, and the one way you could take this the wrong way or bad is, okay, if they work on an entire feature behind the scenes without ever delivering it to us for us to give feedback on it, most of the times that they've done that, they've gotten something incredibly wrong. So, yeah, it might be really bad from that standpoint. I don't know. What else in this excites you?
They talk about that they've got new loot generation. Cool, sweet, love that. Apparently, it's going to make it easier for them to do stuff. I'm always a fan of that. They talk about control surfaces. So that's still being worked on.
Yeah, we'll see how that is when we feel it.
FPS radar and scanning still not in the game since CitizenCon 2023.
But it sounds like it's coming real soon.
Yeah, I think
we get it this year.
Really? You reckon?
Yeah, I think we get FPS radar and scanning this year. Yes.
Okay.
We'll see. We might have a bet or something. We haven't done a bet in a while. Do you want to on this?
If we'll get FPS radar and scanning? Yeah, all right. Yeah. I don't think we'll get it this year necessarily. I don't think there's a time for it, is sort of where I'm at. I don't think there's like a... It just doesn't feel right.
The time is immediate, as soon as possible, I think, because you want to get feedback on it, because it has such an opportunity to be like a wall hack and something bad. But here's what I think the bet should be, since your camera's frozen today. You can choose any frame of me on the podcast to freeze me for a day if I'm wrong on this.
Oh, that's a...
So next year,
I'm in for that 100%.
Next year, first podcast of the year, if we don't have FPS radar and scanning in 2025, you choose a frame of me probably freaking out about something, and that will be the frame for the entire podcast. Sound good?
I'm down. What's my punishment though?
Yours, yours can be the same, maybe.
But you just choose. Yeah, you choose it.
I choose a different.
You choose any frame.
Yeah.
Any frame of mine.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, cool. Yeah, we're down. Virtual handshake. I'm in.
I'm in. If we can't see him shaking hands, do we know if he shook hands or not?
Cross my fingers. He doesn't know. Someone clip that and put that in the ATC Discord, which you can go to.
So we don't forget.
By going to the description box below.
I feel like there was other things in here. Transport refactor continues. It sounds like we might be able to choose a little bit more dynamically of where we want to go via a train or a elevator. Most likely an elevator more than a train. There was something else. Oh, this is a big one. Item expiry feature kicked off, which allow the designers to define the functionality lifetime of items. This is intended for items such as key cards that are only meant to be usable for a limited amount of time before they become non-functional. So we don't know if they're going to go back in time and apply these to contested zones, Hathor, things like that. They could, they may not. It might be for a future thing. I don't hate the idea if they're for contested zones. I don't hate that idea. But I don't love it necessarily either, because what this does,
it's another thing that's like bad right now.
well, it takes
But
the solo
like,
experience, it makes it really difficult. Really difficult. Like, you
I mean, if
can
you
solo a
just
CZ, you can solo Hathor. It's just really difficult now when you can't hold on to keys. So
yeah, but if it's like just the blue and red cards, and you make it like, it doesn't have to be crazy. You make it like 6 to 8 hours or something.
yeah,
It provides still that you're going to get mostly the same experience. It's still harder because you're playing solo just generally. But you're now not staying at a what are they called? The PM supervisors or whatever. You're not just staying there farming red keys for a week, right?
yeah. There's definitely positives there for that. That's been pretty dumb.
Yeah.
Like, I think that is immersion breaking isn't the right thing, but it's maybe game breaking in that, like, that loop. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I like the idea of, I think what they like, if you sit down and think of what they wanted this to be, they wanted us to probably spread out and have a group at Ruin, a group at Checkmate, and a group at Obituary, running the keys at those locations, and then meeting up at the last spot all together to do the final turn in kind of thing. If you wanted to guess what their goal was there. Same with Hathor, right? Spread out, move the needle or move the radars, and then meet up at the OLP, and then fire the laser down at the bottom. So maybe that's what they were going for. Maybe that's what they're going for here, or it could be an entirely different thing. But very interesting thing to talk about. But yeah, tier 1 item recovery also continued as part of this. Little chat, and I'm looking to see if there's any other things. No, nothing there. Economy was, again, a worthless thing to read. Yeah, I'm talking about comp boards, by the way. You're talking about key cards. I think what Croncy is saying is that it could work for the key cards, but not the comp boards. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, comp boards, I think 100% should be just because of the way that the game works. Like, you want to think of anything that's like progression related, which that is. Like, doing all of those is a progression like system. A chunk of like 3 hours doing a CZ, which, like, that's obviously on the longer scale, won't really take you 3 hours, but give them about 3 hours to get the comp boards. That's one CZ, and then give them the opportunity to do another one. So yeah, the comp boards you would keep.
Yeah, you're talking about just one station.
I'm just talking about a key, just literally a supervisor key,
yeah,
or a whatever the other one's called, security key.
Yep.
Those, I think, 100% you gate those, and like that would work. But also, there's other things they could use them for. You could use them for like the egg at the end of the irradiated Valakar thing, right? Like, maybe you get it from a different location, but now it's got a timer on it, and you have to get it to a place. I think
Tarkov did a great job with their key system of, like, they're pretty rare drops. When you get them, they have a number of uses on them, and they just run out after you've used them, and then you got to get more. Yeah. So this is kind of a take on that, but we'll see. Maybe they go to the ones that work in other games at some point. I don't think there's anything in mission design to really talk about. It's all previous stuff that we already know.
Yeah, just resource drive stuff for the most part.
Narrative's a big one. Did you catch narrative?
Yeah. Yes.
What do you think? The end, right?
Yeah. So I freaked out with chat about this because of the way that this is phrased.
Wait.
The team began filling in additional details for an upcoming location, owning specifics to help further guide art and design as they populate it being that first location, with locations and gameplay.
So Nyx?
So yeah, like, it has to be a system, right?
Yeah.
You're not filling a location with more locations unless it's big as hell. And then to add on to that, the bit that they talk about the new ship Seller, which they don't say manufacturer, they say Seller. It's in that. It's the next line.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, they say ship Seller, so we're talking more like a new deal, presumably. Once again, the assumption would be that would be at somewhere major. So yeah, I think Nyx is the most likely thing that they're talking about.
I already recorded Week in Review. I did not catch what you caught up here. I only caught this, and I
Yeah.
assumed it was a new mission giver
Ah,
kind of thing. But I
Yeah.
think you're 100% right.
because like, what else could it be?
Yeah.
It's just such a. It has to be large enough to have multiple locations in it. So it has to, at minimum, be a planet. I doubt they would just release a planet. They would much more likely
Where?
just
For
release
what?
a system.
Yeah, like there's
Yeah,
no.
exactly, right? So,
Yeah. So
but yeah, that's
everybody,
exciting.
can you guys stop coping about instanced ArcCorp, please? They've given you no indication that instances are existing anywhere. Where are you hearing this stuff? The constant instance. There's no instances. They've never talked about it.
But
I don't get it.
You consider
Like, I'm sorry. Like, I've been seeing this in Twitch chat for like a month and a half, ever since they talked about cooperative zones. They'll be instanced. They're not instanced. Yeah. They're literally not. There's just 200 of them, or 120. But yeah. So, yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't know why they keep bringing it up.
Yeah, very cool.
Online tech, nothing.
Yeah. Now, you know how I said at the start of the monthly report, my favorite line in all of monthly report, Mike?
I think I know what
in
it is.
July, the R&D team's focus shifted exclusively to analyzing performance and optimizing engine and game code. This will remain the primary focus for the foreseeable future.
I ignored this in Week in Review too, but that's actually pretty good. Yeah.
So that was the one that I was talking about. That like maybe it's not going to make you feel happy necessarily, but it might bring some of that hope back about the actually working on fixing the game, right?
See, here's the thing though. You guys all think that they're talking about Star Citizen. They're talking about Squadron 42 probably, but hopefully it'll come to us. So, yeah. I actually focused on the line above that. Blueprint library tasks have begun. So they're like, with that discussion around crafting, like the negative one, this is kind of a positive one of like, they're actively working on it. And like a blueprint library API, like that's not in Squadron, right? That is a PU thing. So it's not like a thing that is not going to be like, they're working on it to be functional for us.
So I'm so used to the online technology section being 45 different named systems in Star
that we
Citizen
don't understand,
that mean nothing to me. That I read Blueprint Library and just assumed it was one of those and completely missed.
Oh, I think it's like our blueprints.
Actual Blueprint Library.
Yeah. And then so that's kind of cool. Yep. Item imprint V1 is definitely something to do with crafting as well, because our name is supposed to be on the stuff that we're crafting. So I imagine that's what that is. And then the UI team started working on the inventory stuff. I don't care what the UI looks like as much as how it functions. The current UI isn't that horrible. It's how it performs is really horrible. And that's my big issue with it. Obviously, not having a search, obviously not having certain functionality is garbage. But if we had that functionality with the current UI, I wouldn't be that upset. A lot of the UI that we saw at CitizenCon or SCL was to bring it up to the standard of, crafting, material quality, item recovery, garbage, and that. So, yeah.
And then VFX did what they always do.
Nothing.
VFX. They do a great job, but it's just it doesn't tell us
nothing worth talking about. So. But that's the monthly. So
that is a monthly report. So I think there was some pretty dope stuff in there this month. But just the big takeaway is the tech preview. Like, let's see that engineering tech preview, which hopefully is still going to be this month. I guess it'll depend heavily on how this one goes this week.
Yeah, and I can't with the Twitch chat and instances. They're trying to like justify what they're talking about. And like it literally says the next iteration of instance hangers, which is probably the instance hangers at the locations that we're at. Nothing about instanced gameplay anywhere. So just stop. Please stop. Until they give us a reason not to, right? And they haven't yet. So I don't know what else. I guess I could bring up patch notes about, or I could bring up SP Viewer. Actually, is probably the best thing to do.
Yeah.
Let me do some. I have to update it, and we'll do some care. So, light fighters got a big update to them. So I'm gonna put in an Aegis Gladius. I'm gonna put in a Anvil Arrow, and I'm gonna put in a Asperia Talon. Those are the 3 that probably had the biggest updates. Bam. Okay. And the big thing I would love for you to maybe look at is, where did I do this summary chart? Yeah, here we go. Okay. You'll be able to see it in just a second, guys. There we go. So this is the PTU, current PTU. This is 4.2.1. So you see the left side is like your stealth capabilities, your total HP, damage resistance, nav speeds, like top speeds, stuff like that. These are your maneuverability things. And when under boost is the dotted line. So again, live, you'll notice that it's much further out than it is on PTU. Everything kind of comes in, and then the nav speeds go up, the flight time goes up. Flight time is, I think, how long you can fly without running out of hydrogen fuel or something like that.
Right.
So that's like to give you an example of, hey, we made some light fighter changes. If you're curious what that looks like, this is what that looks like. And that's really it. So trying to take down the maneuverability a little bit of light fighters, but also bringing, I think, some of their health up a little bit. Let me see. Yeah, maybe a tiny bit, it looks like. No, it's going down, the health. So I don't know. It's hard to see. But I think their goal is to try and create some variety here. The question is why are they creating that variety? There's a light fighter that's coming, so most people just assume that that's what it is, and that's probably what it is. We've only ever really seen them do these flight tuning things right before a ship in that class has come in, and they're trying to make room for it. So is this going to be the most maneuverable light fighter? I almost can guarantee it. That's what it's going to be.
And if it was to be anyone that would have the most maneuverable light fighter, it would make sense to me that it would be Kruger International. Which let's talk about that, I guess.
Sure. I guess I got to grab a video of the loading screen. That's our only. Or does anybody remember? I should have had this beforehand.
We've also had multiple sneak.
True. I can grab the sneak peeks as well.
About it. So true. Essentially confirmed now. We are getting one of the new ships we're getting. I assume in 4.3. I guess we'll see. Is a new Kruger ship. If you've been paying attention to the monthly reports, like I told everyone earlier, make sure you read the monthly reports. They said that there was going to be a new ship from a beloved but old manufacturer, like someone that hadn't done anything recently, and we had thought.
Did you guess Kruger on it?
We talked about Kruger.
I can't remember.
It would be Kruger, or I think Origin might have been the other option that we said because it had been a while. But Kruger was definitely a favorite for that one. And what we have so far is a couple of pictures of the cockpit. It's called the L21 Wolf. So we have a couple of pictures of the cockpit from. I'll bring it up. And then we also have a very grainy photo from the splash screen.
Hold on. I'm trying. I'm also trying to bring up the SCL, but I accidentally went over one of the cockpit views. Okay. There we go. I'm getting it all together, chat. Cockpit view number 1. This was from last week. It was this.
Yeah.
So it was very obvious what this was, and then that's obviously right there, right?
Yep.
And that's the cockpit view. Love it.
You can see,
love it
via the cockpit. It is small, right? Like this vehicle is small, so light fighter makes sense.
Yeah.
In that regard.
Oh yeah.
Obviously Kruger makes small ships too. They've made the 2 snub ships, so it tracks.
And here was the look from SCL on the the Kruger ship as well. So there you go. It's going to be one of these.
So that'd be the C? No.
No, I think it looks more
Maybe
like
A?
D or
I
A.
think A.
I got to bring up the
Probably a mix of multiple, honestly.
yeah. Chat saying A. Let me bring us up again,
Yeah.
and then I'll bring up the loading screen so we can get a good look. Just give me 1 second on that. Not prepared, Mike, today. We're usually prepared. My apologies. That was Thursday. We got the loading screen. Right.
That's right. I didn't read them off the report until 20 minutes before the podcast. I am very prepared.
You're good. All right, we'll bring this over here. For whatever reason, that is titled new loading screen, and it was not looking like a new loading screen. All right. Yeah, it's looking like A. Looking like A. Here we go. Right? Just engines in the back, pointy nose up front.
I don't remember the exact ship, but it's very reminiscent of there's like one prequel Star Wars ship.
Yeah, the one that gets blown up, right? Because of the
maybe like right at the start of episode 2, maybe.
Yeah,
it is very Naboo. It is very Naboo Epic Productions, 100%.
That's why I'm like, this thing's gonna sell just because of Star Wars, no matter what.
Sure. But I've really liked the Kruger ship so far. Like the P-52 and the P-72 have been dope. So I'm glad to see them do something. They also are like, anytime people bringing up, like, could we have more ship manufacturers? I always struggle to think of like what sort of niche hasn't already been taken up by another manufacturer that they've made. But I think Kruger do have their own enough of their own style for it to be cool. So I'm excited to see this one. Should be cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. There's no denying that. I just wonder if they'll do something with racing or something like that, because that's kind of where Kruger's fallen into, at least in how people play it. So yeah.
While you have that as well, there was one other thing on that loading screen, which was then later confirmed by a dev to not just be lore, which is, we talked about it last weekend. Resource drive is extended.
Yeah,
it had to happen, and it is. It is in fact happening.
They said, claimed that while the event experienced a few unexpected issues when it began, creating bottlenecks at industry sites across the empire, both the number of participants and resources collected surpassed the goals set by the administration. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So
and then, confirmed by, issues. I believe, Nick Al, that, it is in fact confirmed that it is going to be in 4.3 as well. So, hopefully some of the fixes that are supposed to happen. Once again, I have not played the PTU at all this week. So, if you guys
I barely have
let me know if the fixes worked at all. But hopefully some of the fixes mean that if you haven't been able to do it, you'll be able to just absolutely smash it through in the new patch.
I have seen on the journal entry that there has been cargo turned in, but I don't know about freight elevators. Again, you can't test it in an environment with 100 people and only a couple people doing it, right? It's like, you're not going to get focus testing on that. So we'll only know on live again, which is unfortunate. But I know people did find a workaround. In case you guys aren't aware, there's somewhere on Spectrum, if anybody wants to post the link, somebody figured out that in a C8 or a C8X, you can store it at the location in which you have the mission, buy cargo at the location, and auto load that way. And then somehow you can get the mission cargo auto-loaded as well to your ship. So you can avoid the freight elevator being broken for the intro mission. After that, do anything else other than the cargo ones, because the freight elevators are still going to be busted. But that's like a way that you can work around the intro mission to be able to do it.
Yeah, you can at least get started.
Yeah, exactly. And just, again, they're letting you know you're going to have a couple weeks. The thing that Nico said in there was it will go until 4.3.1. And it sounds like he said a couple of weeks, and he did say literally a couple of weeks. So it sounds like 4.3 is going to just be a couple of weeks, because 4.3 is not 4.3. They need 4.3.1 to like finish out 4.3 because that's what it was supposed to be
Mhm.
with the cooperative zone stuff. So you're only going to have a couple additional weeks. So get on it. If you're able to do it now, get as much done as you can, and then finish up in the next patch with
Yeah, I would
freight elevators if you want.
try to finish before August as much as possible. Before the end of August as much as
Yeah, like
possible.
I'm trying to finish tomorrow. But I have a different reason for that. So I'm doing that because I want to do like a solo playthrough, and I can't do it on 4.3 because I want to like
Yeah.
find everything in the game, and I can't start Wicklow because the food that he wants is a sandwich, and there's no sandwiches in the loot pool. But everything that's in the current patch is in the loot pool, so I'm going to start it at the end of 4.2.1 and then play it in 4.3.
Fair.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's all I have for this week. I mean, again, flight.
Yeah.
A lot of flight balance stuff, but for the right reasons. Hard to say, because do you just want the game to be better, or are you just trying to sell another ship? It's like they're always just trying to sell another ship. So, it's just like I want to be happy for them, but then you always look at it and it always involves a ship sale. It's so annoying. But yeah, that's all I really have for the week. It was kind of a dead week.
One day they will release a ship and not sell it, and that day will be 2083.
Yeah, it will not be anytime soon, unfortunately. I just personally have not done any 4.3 stuff because it's all story. Why would I want that ruined before it ever comes out? So I've just kind of avoided it. And then, but it looks good. Everything's looking good down there. The armor's really, really hard to get if you're looking for the armor with the hood, the ASD versions of those armors. Very, very hard to find.
Yes, I've been seeing those pop around on the internet. People have been showing them to me. They look sick.
Yeah, they look awesome. But yeah, just waiting for the patch right now, waiting for Resource Drive to die in a grease fire and then move on.
And then everything will be fine.
Never move a box again. As somebody who loves industrial gameplay, wow. Did they make me not love it?
I felt the same. I was like, at the initial
I thought I loved it.
I was very excited. And then, you know what? I don't enjoy how tedious that gameplay loop is.
Yeah.
It sucks. I enjoyed the mining part I did at the start, but then kind of like what I was saying last week, because it was so much less rewarding for the event itself to do mining, I just didn't want to do that, right?
Yeah. Like the I just think back to all the other video games that I've played with cargo. It's just like I think you like the journey of like I went from here, I went to there, I picked it up and I dropped it off, but you didn't manually do the pickup and drop off, right? It was I left from here and I went to there, and whatever happened in between was the cargo haul. They've made it where you're literally quantum traveling, so you're hands off, and you're not doing anything during the travel, really. Obviously, like a little bit after quantum travel. And then majority of the gameplay is spent moving the boxes. It's not good design for me, personally. Maybe others love it.
It's shown some flaws in the gameplay loop that in a gameplay loop that I didn't think existed.
Yeah,
essentially.
Yeah.
So it's probably gonna. I mean, let us know when you call in, because we're also going to be going to callers in a sec. But let us know when you call in what you think about it, because I imagine the feelings are much the same in the community of like maybe you did really enjoy moving boxes, and then all of a sudden you're like, not into it, so they might have to start doing stuff. It's me!
He's back!
I've got my pants on now. Shit.
He's back. I just looked, and the camera was working.
Well, there you go.
So hell yeah. I don't know how long it's been working for, because it wasn't for a while, but because I looked for a good portion of the show, but then it was not. But yeah, I think that's all I have.
Yeah, that's about it for the week.
I spelled the name right for the first guy. I did.
We're gonna get into callers. We've got some room for some callers, so make sure you guys call in. If you are watching right now live on YouTube, follow the link in the description. If you're on Mike's channel, go !Mike Podcast, follow the link, head into the green room. And if you're not watching live, haha, But you can come and watch us live and then jump into the green room as well every Sunday at like 10 a.m. Florida time or something.
Yeah, I don't know about
Yeah.
UTC or anything like that.
Whatever
We
that
probably
is.
need to figure out what the UTC time is.
Yeah.
I'll just let me open up Eve and then I'll figure it out. I'll play Eve real quick. All right, let's bring
Who
in our
needs a
first
clock
caller
when
though.
you just can open a game and figure it out that way?
Exactly. All right, let's bring in our first caller. I think first time. I don't recognize the name at least.
I don't recall
JustErich.
them, yeah.
So probably a first time caller. JustErich, can you hear us? You are muted currently, so you're gonna have to unmute. There you go.
Greetings.
Greetings.
How you
Are you a
doing?
first time caller, Eric?
I am first time caller, long time listener.
Awesome.
Is my voice
Awesome.
okay?
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'll turn you up a little bit, but I'll deal with it on my end.
Yeah, just leave your volume where it is.
Okay. Yeah, listening for quite a while. First time that I jumped into the lobby. Greetings, Mike, Croncy, chat. Hope you had a great week.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You too?
Sorry for the botched. Yeah, all good on my side. Thanks. Sorry for the botched English in advance, but I guess that's the outcome if you learn more about the language, watching way too many movies and paying attention to school.
I love when like people who speak multiple languages and speak English better than I do come in. It's the same thing every time.
There was someone who
Yeah, you
had like
sound
a
great.
full-on thick British accent that was like, "Sorry, English is my second language." What? No, you invented it.
Yeah. Wait, what? No, you sound great. Your English is
I mean-
perfect.
Okay, I mean, I'm a bit on the negative side about my
Sure.
English skills because I have France as the neighbors, and if you try to butcher their language, they are usually not that friendly.
Yeah, but we're not French, so it's okay. You'll be all right.
Oh,
Anyway, Star Citizen.
so I'm sad. All good. Yeah, I wanted to talk about the missions, and the issues we have regarding the cargo elevators.
Okay.
If it's fine.
Sure.
Jumping from station to station, mining facility to mining facility, and abandoning state mission because the elevator is broken. I noticed something. You have usually in our servers, European servers, one to groups that are friendly enough to fix somehow the elevators and make it public and global. Hey, here are mission cargo, pick it up for free, and so on. But I kind of want to, but I don't want to accept it that it's sheer incompetence of CIG side that we have such broken systems in the game with still 4.2, 4.3. What I noticed circling state stations that most of the time ships were spawned by something called game rules. Are you familiar with this system?
Are you? Because I know exactly what that is.
Okay, from my understanding, it's a system that's responsible to populate our universe.
No.
With said ships.
No.
Okay.
Nope. It is the complete opposite. It is when you abandon a ship or claim it, it is then owned by game rules, and then that changes the rules of interactions with those ships, so you're able to board them, take them away, destroy them, move them, things like that, depending on where you're at. There's unfortunately a law problem where when you use an SRV to move them away, you still get a crime. And you should not be getting that when it's game rules. Game rules let you know that that ship has been abandoned.
Okay. I mean, because I noticed way too many ships owned by game rules in the end.
Because people are abandoning all the time. Because there's no consequence for abandoning them, and then you just claim all the time because Star Citizen.
But it's not my first rodeo with game rules because I remembered I stumbled over said problems 4-5 years ago already, which gave me to think if we as the playtesters not really address the right issues regarding certain bugs we experience in the game. Because, I mean, every working elevator in the game had at least 30-meter radius around them. Sorry for the metric system, European again. Where there was no ship, there was no debris of wrecks or something. And yeah, is it possible that game rules might need some adjustments that ships despawns after a certain, after a quicker time or something? What are your thoughts on that?
Probably. Or like if there's a game rule ship, it should automatically spawn a mission to say, hey, go SRV and salvage this thing out of the game, and we'll pay you X amount of credits for the salvage or whatever. Like something like that. But I would love if that was the solution. Right? Go ahead, Croncy.
If I'm not mistaken, I thought they did change some of the rules semi-recently. I don't remember if it was in a PTU patch or not.
No,
obviously not enough.
Luke Presley made a post on Spectrum about it. It was definitely in a patch more recently, but I don't think it's worked perfectly of yet.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be able to get rid of those, but it doesn't make a mission to say, hey, go get rid of that. I would love if that was it. I think people who want to salvage are just dying for that kind of stuff, right? It's just tell me where this stuff is, because I think it's way more meaningful, enjoyable. There's an opportunity for you to find something inside. If it's a player ship, then some random busted up NPC ship at a salvage mission that just isn't kind of giving it anymore. It's like not as exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, I landed way too often during the event inside Clasher, and usually I'm a good boy, so
yeah.
I don't know.
Were you trying to move ships and stuff?
Yeah.
That's
not directly pet rimming, and only ships that were owned, that were not player owned or something.
Yeah, it's they need to adjust some of that for sure, because there were ships that had game rules, but their shields were on, and it's like, why? Like their shield shouldn't be on, so we're able to get in there and get rid of these more easily, things like that. So, fingers crossed they deal with that, because that would be great. I think people would love to do that stuff. Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about?
With the newest patch in the PTU 4.3, how do you think we have still the issue that CRG introduced new features, but pulls them 2-3 days later? What comes to mind are the new letters. Damn, so long to fight with these damn Ubisoft letters. They are way too sticky.
What did they do? They I don't really know what's going on with the letters. They took them out, they put them back in. They took them out, they put them back in. But I don't think they ever really said why.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking if you have maybe some conspiracy theories or something.
There's probably like a crash or something related to them. That would be my guess.
Yeah, we are still PTU. That'd be like the most obvious one. I would be more like the actual thing would be like whether it ships with the ladders or not, and then you see where we're at.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see any reason to take them out when I've used them, but clearly there were other reasons. I just don't focus on the ladders that much because we barely interact with them.
So I believe the most recent patch they got put back in.
Yes, they have.
What I can tell.
Yeah.
Yep. But they came in and out a couple times, so I'm not sure why.
Yeah.
But yeah. And anything else?
Yeah. How do you see CIG releasing ships without nerfing the rest of the same category, but still promising what released ship original role or stat was?
They've done it before. People just forget because I hate when people forget this. They have done it where they have released ships that haven't nerfed everything, and in fact, sometimes they release ships
and
that
they're
are
horrible,
just straight up the worst version of that thing.
Misc Fortune is the best example. That was by far the worst salvaging ship. Yeah. Still is. It's not by far anymore, but it's still really bad.
Right now, it's going to be a balancing nightmare forever until we get crafting, until we have like an actual vision of what the flight system is like complete. The crafting system is complete. Balancing is going to be a nightmare both ways. They will continue to attempt to balance for the current game, which they have done to various degrees of success, depending on the patch, depending on the ship and whatnot. So I'm not worried about it necessarily so much right now because things keep changing a ton, and I am personally not majorly affected by it. But I don't know. We'll see. Like let's have a look at what this new ship looks like. But keep in mind, they talked about flight surfaces in this monthly report. It seems like that's going to be a big change in a lot of these vehicles regardless. We have still crafting coming. We have still engineering coming. So always keep the balancing of like there's just always future balancing to come that's going to be major balancing, if that makes sense.
It's just an icky, yucky thing when they do it.
Yeah. It's just a gross system right now.
Yeah. It's just the only way to get away from this is to
promised us.
The only way to get away from this is to have a subscription model and do things that other games do, where the funding model isn't based around you really wanting the newest ship and spending real money on it. And until they get away from that, it's always going to be this bad. So the only way for them to get away from it is for you to stop buying them. And if you don't stop buying them, they're going to keep doing it, and nobody's going to stop buying them. So this is what it's going to be. And hopefully, like Croncy said, if there's a reason to actually balance the game because they've made one, then maybe this will be better. But until then, there is a 0% chance it will be better until they make some changes around that, and they're not going to. So you either live with it or you don't. And that's basically what it is.
I want to live in the world where there's a Reddit post about a ship being overpowered because it has like 0.1% better chances of surviving or what than other ships.
Yeah.
Because that's what other games are. There are always like there is never a true balance, but you get to a point where the game works enough that you can still have your favorites and not get absolutely dumpstered, right?
Yeah, and when it's 0.1%, then that opens up the opportunity for somebody to make a mistake, and that advantage goes away, right? Where currently the advantages that certain ships have are so strong that those pilots can make mistakes in those ships and not be penalized for them. So that's where we need to get, and we're not there.
Whether that's old ships or new ships.
Correct.
Well, which is why sometimes new ships are just absolute dog shit.
Yep. Correct. But JustErich, probably one more short one before we get, because now the callers, are starting to flow in a little bit.
Yep.
So,
no, fine.
Last thing.
My last question before I say goodbye: do you think we see any surprises from CRG side regarding ships? Maybe something out of the blue or something.
I mean, the Idris release was crazy.
Yeah.
So
that was a surprise.
Anything at this point, like I would never in a million years would have thought they would have done that. So,
Croncy guessing Kraken or?
Well, Kraken's going to start its work at the end of the year. I don't think we see it this year.
Yeah, it's in pre-production right now, and it's going to take a while. It's also one of those ships similar to the Polaris and the Perseus and all this, where they will talk about it the whole time. They're going to be giving us all the like minute. Hey, we worked on this room now. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
The only thing I think that they could do to surprise me right now is just like some enormous unknown ship,
or a ship with like a mechanic that's unexpected, maybe like repair or
100%.
I don't know, something like that.
Yeah. They bring in repair out of nowhere. That'd be sick. They bring out drones out of nowhere. There's one.
Yeah,
right?
There's two things that can definitely be a surprise, I would say, because they haven't said anything about it. That would be the definition of a surprise, right?
Yeah.
But all right, Eric, we'll let you go, man. But thanks for calling. And again, your English is fine.
Yeah.
Stop apologizing for it. Imagine speaking multiple languages. Yeah, you're good. I can't.
So
yeah, no, I got. Cheers, Eric.
All right, Eric, be good.
And have a great rest of the week. And
you too.
Well, I listen you later.
All right, be good.
Cheers, man.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, he did so good right until the end. That was his first English mistake. It was right at the end.
Yep.
All right, let's bring in PepicWalrus. See, hello. I can't speak English either. Hey, Pepic, what's up, man?
Good. It's been a while since I've been on. I was kind of off Star Citizen for a bit, but came back to beat my head against Resource Drive.
Because
which wasn't like a lot of people.
Yeah.
I obviously I didn't play this week, but last week I had not seen my friends list this active in a very long time.
Because the rewards are worth it.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Some of the rewards are awesome, but it's
Yeah, it's the rewards that kind of bring you back. And I thought at the beginning of the year they said they were going to try to do these events like every month or like.
Yeah,
they sort of have. Like I guess we've only actually, in terms of events this year, we've had 2,
3. Well, this would be the 3rd because we had Fight for Pyro, Supply and Die, now Resource Drive.
Oh, sorry, yes, Fight for Pyro, of course. Yeah. So we've had 3, but then like the patch releases that were in between those had major content, which is why people keep referring to Hathor and Valakar as events.
See, I think that's what they should be doing for these events is where they take something that's going to be in the game permanently, but for like its release, they do like a limited time event around it to draw attention to it. But then afterwards, it stays in the game.
Yeah.
Like like when was the last time somebody probably went to the Xenothreat distribution centers in Pyro? What are
those?
Probably been there. The ones where you got the Denatrine ones. Like,
is that still there?
I would have to imagine so.
Well, they were only there for the missions.
Do they
I
have
thought.
anything is the question.
Yeah,
no one knows because no one's been in months.
Yeah, it's like the Denatrine mission should have stayed. It's just they should have been less valuable. They're not priority.
Yep.
Yeah, make it a thing that's like still ongoing, I guess.
Yeah.
Sure.
Overall, though, it's like a lot of good stuff in the what is it? The roadmap, monthly report. Yes. Hopefully, it's not all just for CitizenCon. That's a slight worry that we're in the summer month where every year they chug along on. They're making good progress on something. Then we get to the summer months, and then it's suddenly all hands on for CitizenCon.
Yeah, and it's just or the things that they're chugging on are just these shit prototypes for SitCon that are done in like their own little environments. That like again. 12 months or so in 2023 on so many things still. Are you kidding me?
Or so.
The monthly report, I don't know. It's a little weird. It's like they try to keep stuff close to the chest before CitizenCon normally. This one doesn't feel, with the exception of maybe like engineering.
Yeah.
None of that felt like stuff that you would show at a online only CitizenCon.
Yeah.
Like if it was a full day CitizenCon, 2 days CitizenCon like last year. Actually both previous years were 2 days, right? Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But this one's like only supposed to be a few hours, right? Like 3-4 hours.
Yeah, it's like a 1 day.
So I don't and like once again
most
presume
of it,
that part of that is Squadron, right?
Hopefully most of it is Squadron at this point. Because I just
most of it or none of it. That's what I want.
I'm still up for a demo.
Yeah, fair. But yeah, I think it's this year. I think this monthly report isn't much like that because also the vast majority of it was 4.3 stuff.
Yeah,
it's just we didn't touch on it because it was 4.3 stuff. We already know it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully it's all. I mean, hopefully the previews. It's good that because we're getting one this week. You guys said.
Yes, tomorrow.
The test preview? Okay, well, hopefully that goes well, because we've been waiting for these, as I think they said in 2023 or 2024, that these are critical to their testing.
Yeah, it was
we've had 2.
The letter from the chairman at the start of the year was like, I think it was the letter from the chairman. It was like, yeah, we're going to be doing tech previews a lot this year.
A lot.
This is the first one.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully there's about 10 more because
Yeah. We're doing a ton of them. They're just all coming right at
August and later.
I mean, I think they should just have a tech preview up like they did at the beginning of the year with 3.24 and 4.0, that they just have the playable branch and then the
It might be expensive to maintain. There's also costs involved.
And it's only worth it with like how much value they get. Like, there's no point in running a tech preview that like you do the tech preview. They did that
for marketing.
Get your like weeks worth of testing, and then like people stop jumping on the tech preview. There's no point. Like it's just you're done.
Yeah,
go look at PTU right now. After day one, nobody ever tests anymore.
Yeah,
they saw the locations. They're done.
PTU because I'm like, I just want to play it live. So
yeah.
Which the Onyx facilities, they all look super good. Like
it's true.
These kind of stuff that is good to have. I'd still like to see more. I think CIG and I think a lot of people, being one of myself speaking, when they said playability, I thought it was more quality of life stuff, not playable content. But
I think it was. I think that was their intention.
I mean, I did a whole video on exactly what their intention was because, like, I read the thing and showed it. It was bug fixing. What was it? It was stability.
Yeah,
stability, something, and content was the last thing. It's like content was a big part of it, so that was their plan. This is, I think it was I guess in hindsight, right? Hindsight's 2020. It was a bit of a mistake, right?
Yeah, it's. Who knows? It's because it's like majority of the studios on Squadron still.
They spend too much time on content than they have on the other two things, unfortunately.
I think server-wise, it's been improved a lot. I think
100%. Do you remember like December, January? Like what an absolute mess the launch was, right?
You're more likely to crash.
Guys, I mean, even go back to before. Even go back to before 4.0. Like, the server crashes are no more. Like, or are very, very rare. When I got a server error today, I just sat there for a couple minutes and I just continued what I was doing. I crashed the desktop. I just continue what I was doing. That has not been a thing. Like,
it's happened a few times with because right now the only missions that I could do are the like combat focused ones, which give like nothing in terms of credit for the resource event. But I've crashed a few times mid combat. I just load back in to join, and I'm right back in it. So,
yeah.
But overall, I'm. Well, I guess last thing is they mentioned that the resource or the region crisis storyline is finishing up in the next event in 4.3.1. So it's curious what I think. I think that's what the wording was, that we conclude this chapter of resource.
Ah, sure. Arc 1 complete or something.
Yeah, so I'm sure it'll come back around. But
and they're done with the narrative. No more story. I mean, we're all done, guys.
I'm sure it'll come back around, but it sounded like that was going to be it for the year with the next event, at least this year. And then we're probably back to the Pyro stuff.
That stuff. Well, Pyro was part of Reject Crisis. So
it's just we've been on this B plot since April, since the end of April. I guess Invictus was technically Well, Region Crisis was started
more recently.
Yeah, we're like halfway through the year, so we've been off the A plot, like the Fight for Pyro stuff, for a while.
Yeah, because at the beginning of this whole thing, Jared mentioned, like, at the end of this story, Pyro will be changed forever. Nothing we're doing now has anything to do with Pyro.
Yeah.
So it's when will the Pyro be changed forever?
The Pyro station will be changed forever.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Because it's getting renamed based on the event.
He meant the system, though, but I think it's still something with Frontier Fighters and all that. Like, we'll see what happens there. I think that story is still, we're taking a little break from it for now.
Story prediction. Mad scientist man runs off to Pyro and makes a deal with, I don't know, someone, Frontier Fighters or someone. That's my prediction.
Yeah. Or Xeno Threat.
And then creates an army of worms to destroy.
Let's go.
Space Word.
CIG, you need to hire Mike as the narrative guy. Let's go.
Never read a book. Can't read. Can be the
Can't
narrative
speak
guy.
English.
Yeah.
Narrative is story. It has nothing to do with words on a page. It's fine.
Yep. Nope.
But yeah, just going back to like half what you said, where it's like, yeah, it'll end with .1. That also makes sense in a timing perspective with what we expect to happen for the rest of the year. Because so September will be 4.3.1, assuming they follow the cadence that they have every month this year, pretty much.
Yep.
October will be CitizenCon. There will be a patch
CitizenCon.
for CitizenCon that'll have something CitizenCon related. November is IAE. We will have IAE. They'll probably tie it into the story.
in game.
Actually, wait. We probably don't get a patch at CitizenCon because they said we were going to get like 10 patches, and they still have done one every single month up to this point, right? Have we had a break? I don't think we've had a break. So if they're going to take a break, it's probably going to be at CitizenCon as far as the patches go.
That makes me a little more hopeful for a Squadron demo as well.
Yeah. Yeah, fair. But then yeah, December, I definitely also expect a like, you know, hey, it's about to be the holidays. Here, have a patch that's got some bit of content in it too. So release cadence makes sense for .1 being like the end of a chapter.
Yep. And last thing I have to say is Flatcats. I hope we see them in game.
Yeah, that's like something
that's on the... mentioned this. What the hell is this about? What is Flatcats about?
It's on the loading screen.
I've been too busy this week.
It's on the loading screen, and they recently updated the Galactopedia about them.
What the hell is a Flatcat?
It's basically just I picture them as just square Minecrafty cats. Someone said they're like walking rugs.
Okay.
But... They're
okay, cool.
Again, please match the lore, people.
Yes, it's actually tagged under. It's one of the 3 things tagged under pets on the Galactopedia. So
yeah, and
the other 2 things are fish.
Recent monthly report. They mentioned something about pets. I swear, I don't remember though.
How can a cat piss on a rug if it already is the rug?
Well, supposedly they're pretty smelly. So, according to the lore. Galactopedia, but
interesting.
All right. I will bow out to the next person. So,
all right, Pepic.
Farewell. Good to talk again.
Awesome.
Be good.
Yeah, we appreciate the call.
Farewell.
Bye bye. All right, and I had to shorten our next caller's name. Brutus Time Travelier. I just shorted the Traveler a little bit up there. Welcome, my man. How you doing?
How we doing, Brutus?
Good. How you guys doing?
Very good.
Not too bad.
So what do you want to talk about?
I was thinking about Levskii.
Okay.
Because you guys brought up the new ship seller.
Yeah,
when Levskii took the place of Microtech, it had a ship seller.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that would go along with what you guys are thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone in my chat brought this up as well. I would believe it for sure.
Yeah. And then the resource drive has been something. I'm a transportation main, and I've only got up to level 3 on Crusader and just said screw it. But
why? What has been the pain point for you?
The grind. It just seems so grindy, and then nothing works.
Yeah, like
which makes it extra grindy.
It's weird. I've seen people mention that it like you want an MMO. MMOs have grinds. Like, stop crying. What would your thoughts be to those statements?
I want to answer that quickly because you actually answered that earlier during the pod.
Yeah.
In a lot of other games, like when you're doing transport and you're doing cargo, it's the journey. It's that whole like middle bit that you're doing that is like the enjoyable part of that grind.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Mm-hmm. If I am doing EVE Online, obligatory EVE reference every single pod.
Finally did it.
Having a 62 warp jump, right? And getting to go through each one of those locations, and also during that having to make sure that I'm on D-scan or make sure that there's not any criminals in local, that sort of thing. makes that bit of the grind, even though it is pretty tedious because nothing happens 90% of the time, that makes that a bit more enjoyable. But in Star Citizen, the grind most of the time comes from move box point A to point B,
and you hear
and then get in the ship
the whole time,
Yeah.
and it's just like, this is awful.
Yeah.
Well, and if they would have not done away with auto loading at outposts, I think that would have made things a lot easier for people. Because that's a big cause of your pain when you're trying to load a C2 full of crap to take back to a station.
Yep.
How do we... So, okay, that's cool. Are we fine with... Because, like, we're talking about, okay, what's the... It's the journey in between, right? And it's the possibility, at least in EVE Online, that there's that there's a possibility you get pirated. Well, guess what? In EVE Online, they're just going to grab your cargo and put it in their inventory as well, right? Just super simple. The pirate doesn't get that same mechanic. They have to move it one by one by one. I'm okay with that personally. You know, especially if they're... Because I guess a large amount of the interactions, if the game is the way that we're expressing it, would happen in non-monitored space then. So you would kind of want the pirate to be there having to move the cargo for a while and not being able to move the ship necessarily. So you can go back, defend yourself, call other people in, put a marker where your ship was, things like that. Is everybody
I also
cool
think
with
even
that
from
part?
that perspective, like, it's a lot more satisfying to physically load cargo that you've like earned.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's
sure.
that's okay in that regard. But like physically loading cargo that I've just accepted a mission for and sat at, a lot more boring.
Exactly. Like, I'm just trying to make the point that there's situations where that level of being tactile with the boxes and moving them and all that stuff actually does make sense. They're choosing to do them at places where it doesn't, and it just won't work. Like, think about the you know, I have a C2 at an outpost. Like, I have to open my ship up to be stolen in order to interact with cargo. Like, that is so dumb. So yeah, like, there's just a lot of this needs to be rethought completely, because now that the game is there, we're showing they're not cracks, they're literal ravines in the experience when it comes to some of this stuff.
Which I'd also say the hope is that it's not the mechanic itself that needs to be changed. Hopefully they can, because then 10 more years down the line before we get like another cargo loading thing, the hope is that they can change the stuff around it to make it a bit more interesting.
Yeah, like, I'll read Zeus's chat before we move on. He says, to be fair, this event had the most rewards by far. I think it was totally fair for how much actual shit you got compared to past events, which had like one gun or one helmet and that was it. Yeah, that's totally fine. I think we can still argue that, like, let's make the experience better, and then you can up the amount of cargo you have to move. And sure, you're going to be grinding, but the type of grind would be different, right? So, but I think that comment's super fair.
Yeah, I think that's fair. But I do think the freight elevators have been the bane of their existence since they came out in 3.24.
Yeah,
they didn't know it.
No. So it'll be interesting to see how they fix it. Now, would that be something that would have to be roped into the transit system refactor, since it's technically an elevator?
I don't know.
Hopefully not.
I don't know enough about Star Citizen.
Or hopefully yes, and they move all that forward like they did the elevators.
I hope so. Because them taking the transit system refactor out of 4.0, that was the one thing I was excited for, was having trains and elevators actually work right.
Yeah, for sure. What else do you want to talk about?
I am curious to see what they do with engineering, and I wonder, with the tech preview, are they going to want to try and get engineering out before the Kraken is done?
Yes.
I know that has never stopped them before.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to try to get it out before the Kraken is done. As in, like, I don't think they have a goal, get engineering out before the Kraken is done.
You might see the Kraken at the end of next year, dude.
Kraken.
Yeah.
I just think engineering just will happen before.
I don't think we understand how big of a ship that is. That's like Idris sized.
Yeah.
You don't just make it.
I know I can't I can't wait to have it in game. But I do think the Kraken without engineering probably wouldn't be good. I mean, even the Idris without having engineering right now probably wasn't a good decision, but I get why they did it. Well, one, they did it for money. And then everybody just freaked out when they released it. So it generated a lot of hype.
It had essentially been done for like 3 years.
Yeah.
Also true. So it makes me wonder what SitCon's going to be like this year. Because if you have a engineering demo, would they do another demo at SitCon?
Of course,
with
they
the
would.
release for around Christmas or first of the year in 26, and then focus SitCon more on Squadron, because I think that's when you'll see the FPS scanning come in game. Once you know that it works good in Squadron.
I don't know. You're talking about like release Squadron. That's not until who knows next year.
At least, yeah.
Well, not even particularly released, just maybe when the feature's ready. You know, if they have...
I think you'll find they were feature complete in 2023.
Yeah. So I literally had to ask, because DJ made a post that everybody got worked up about last week about the FPS radar and scanning, and then the words feature complete. So I was like, what does feature complete mean? And it's like, feature complete's like, it's like, it's here, but then they have to get to gameplay complete. So it's like all the work from feature complete to gameplay complete is a lot of work. And it was like, oh, you know, all the things you said that Chris never said at CitizenCon. Very cool. Thanks for letting me actually know now. And it was helpful to be like, so Chris knew probably what he was saying was game development speak that didn't mean anything to a person, but allowed us to think that the focus was going to go back onto Star Citizen. They communicated that it was multiple times, and then it never did. So cool.
Well, I think part of that's because they know now if Squadron doesn't release in 26, that's it. They're going to be cooked at that point.
It's not.
They'll never be
I get what you're saying.
Because there's enough cooked people like you. I love how you say they're going to be cooked, but you can't wait to fly your Kraken. That's why this game will not be cooked, my brother. You are the reason this game will not be cooked, so you don't get to say that.
Look,
that is also said before, fair.
Like every SE, well, at least most SE backers that are not completely brainwashed have like some level that it's like if CIG do like something bad enough, they will stop playing. The vast majority of those will not be like Squadron doesn't release next year. It would be, you know, like super bad monetization is like a big one that people bring up. As in like, you know, just unambiguous. Here is $1,000. I straight up win the game forever type stuff.
Oh, like how I'm doing the current event. Very nice.
Hell yeah, get your Polaris. Like if they came out next year and said Squadron's not coming until 27, and people would be there would be threats.
Rightfully
there would
so.
be YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And yeah, for sure. Everyone would still be in it. If they said it's not coming for 5 years, that's when it gets fucked. That's when it gets like it needs to be that sort of level.
Which they won't, because they'll just
they'll just say hold the line again. I don't know. Maybe you should answer the call.
They'll just avoid it like usual.
It does make me want to bring up though. It was actually something that someone wanted to bring up last week, which is the rumors of GTA 6 being delayed and how that could impact the release of Squadron. That is a bet that I would make. I still reckon GTA 6 will come out before Squadron, with whatever delays ends up happening.
Yeah.
But
Anything else, Brutus? Because we got a couple more callers that I'd like to try and get to. I don't know if we'll get to you, Avenger, unfortunately.
We might have to have you back for a special or something.
Yeah, I think especially because this stuff will keep going. So maybe we could talk Light Fighters next week.
But yeah, if
I've got nothing else.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, we appreciate the call a ton.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Hopefully we hear from you again soon.
All right.
Catch you later.
Bye-bye.
No worries, bye.
All right. We're going to bring in ImmElfo next. Elfo, are you there?
What's up, Elfo?
Hello, hello.
Hello.
How we doing?
Hello, Salty. Hello, Croncy. Hello, chat.
Hello.
What would you like to talk about today?
Okay, so I have a few points.
Mhm.
I'm going to talk about, the first one's going to be about content and them adding new locations and not working on the previous locations. Cough, cough, bunkers still being absolutely bare bones.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're getting these new, like, I'm all for new content and new locations to explore. But to me, ASD, the new facilities, there are 100 new locations, but there are 100 new copy and pastes.
They straight up are, yeah. There's no doubt about that.
So like, there's like,
with the exception of like, sorry, even just to like,
go on.
Very, very quickly, there is like something to be said about like there is a difference between landing at one at Clio and landing at one at like
of
I don't
course,
even know if there is one at Yellow, but I assume there is. Like there's that element, but other than that, they are straight up carbon copies that are purely 100 of them. The only reason there are 100 of them is for gameplay purpose, just so people
allow people to play
bump into each other. Yeah,
but to me, that's not like, you know, that's not an excuse to not at least have maybe some of the layouts different, maybe some of the objectives different, facility to facility, to give you a reason to go to those other locations rather than just, I'm going to stay around Crusader and do the missions there.
Why are you so concerned about how many locations are being put in terms of, like, why is this a bad thing? I'm curious because I see this as a very good thing.
You're just saying you want more, basically, right? Like
I just want
more
it's
variety.
just a want, you know, like obviously it's just more variety between the locations. But my real point is that, you know, we still have bunkers that are in the game that haven't been expanded upon since, you know, a long time. They've been essentially forgotten about, and I think
they've got to be on the chopping block. I've got to imagine, right? Like the
like
last time they got
don't
touched,
even fit.
Yeah, the last time they got touched was maybe 21, 22, something like that. And all they did was they changed the layout. Like they made them non-uniform layouts. Otherwise, they were still like carbon copies of each other.
yeah.
I
think that's just like content that they could have went back on and worked on for at least for a month during, you know, this year of stability and playability and content and whatever. That, you know, they would start updating previous content that just kind of got left behind. And that brings me to stuff like the, you know, the Deditrine and, you know, that whole thing just being basically useless, and all the dev time that was spent on the Deditrine event was just pointless because now there's no use for it. You know, they've done nothing with the location. You know, the raid on Orison stuff. They told us that, you know, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure they told us that they weren't going to bring that back.
I think they probably will at some point, but
right,
not in the near future at least.
I think the issue for the Repel raid stuff was actually tied to the mission refactor.
He's talking about Siege of Orison, right?
Yeah.
He's talking about Siege.
But yeah, that's just one of the points. It's like there's a lot of.
He's saying Siege of Orison. Well, they said, you know, it's not coming back anytime soon. Siege of Orison,
just like actual Siege of Orison.
Yeah,
I think that is the case.
That's one. Yeah. But yeah, it's just more like a point. There's just old content or like old events where there's just things that are left behind that just don't get updated. And I think that that's something they should do. They should take the time to go back and update the old stuff. Like, was it Ghost Hollow, for instance? Like, I love doing Ghost Hollow, but no one really goes there anymore. Like, it's not really, like, it's not really used, right?
Because
like,
money is not a draw.
Yeah, that stuff in particular, especially because they're like, in the grand scheme of Star System, that's still new. Ghost Hollow is still new. It's only like 3 years old.
Yeah.
So that stuff in particular, 100% needs to be like re-looked at and re-brought out. Which, once again, I'm not 100% sure. Parts of it may be tied to the mission refactor, but the location itself obviously isn't. It's just the mission is. So,
not a big deal. Like, obviously, that could all come just, you know, like in a year's time or whatever, whenever. But, you know, there just needs to be more depth to content that's been here for 3 years than the stuff that we're getting now.
Yeah.
But anyway, off of content, and because I don't want to take up too much of your time, engineering and multi-crew. I hope and I pray that engineering is probably one of the more arcadey aspects to Star Citizen rather than super in depth. By arcadia,
depends.
I mean, like, I don't want to. like it can't be tedious, because if it's tedious, then it's going to be miserable to fly ships, in my opinion. And I think everyone else kind of thinks the same, that it needs to be good, because right now multi-crew is like terrible. It is,
It's
in
just
my
sitting in a
opinion, it
turret,
is not
boring as
fun.
fuck.
Yeah, it's not enjoyable at all. Like, my buddies are like, "Oh, do you want to come aboard the Idris? We'll go do some missions with it." And I'm like an hour in, and I'm like in a turret doing nothing, or just exploring the ship doing absolutely nothing, and it's like, cool. That
I will say, like, in terms of like where it needs to be, the biggest example that gets used a lot, especially because when we played engineering last year, it was very much like this, was Sea of Thieves, right? The sort of the person, whoever you get in your friend group to like go and repair the ship over and over again, that experience is tedious. All you're doing is pressing left click a bunch of times, right? Over all the holes. But like, there's enough exciting stuff going on, and there's enough like you moving around between all the different locations in the ship to keep it interesting during a fight. I certainly didn't feel that when I played it last year. Like, I felt like I was just putting in fuses, but I didn't feel like I was doing. I didn't feel like that level of excitement that whole time. So that's one thing I do hope that they've done since then is increase that aspect of it. I may still just be running around putting fuses in, running around with a repair torch, and that's it.
Right.
But if you've added small little elements to it, maybe that makes it okay. One example could be, because they've talked about it, and maybe this will be in the initial implementation, is like the where you've got to cut the oxygen to like different rooms and stuff. So you're also solving a little puzzle. So it's like, cool. Most of my job is still punch wall with fist till it fixes itself.
Yeah.
But sometimes I've got to work out exactly how this power is going to get here, exactly how I'm going to get rid of this fire. And if that's in depth enough, then I don't think I think your concerns will be lifted. At least I hope they will.
Yeah.
Let's see.
The stuff like closing the doors and stuff to cut off oxygen to rooms, put out the fires. I think that's a cool idea, because it means that, if you're a player that doesn't want to focus on engineering right away during a fight, like, and have your buddy go back there, you can stall that and get the timer and jump out and go, fix your ship, rather than have someone fix it mid-flight. And I think there needs to be a balance between like the positives of engineering and the negatives. I think it should be like, if you have someone engineering, it should be more positive, but if you don't, I don't think the negatives should be too harsh. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. It just needs to be fun. Video games are fun.
Yeah, it's why I love jump ships. Like, when Jump Ship came out, they had a really cool, like, just simple engineering mechanic, which was nice.
Yeah.
But anyway, and then onto resource drive and its inevitable failure, which was going to happen because freight elevators have been broken for a long time. And
since they came out.
Since they've came out. But even more so that it just, I've heard the argument, that this is a push to get more data on, what's going on with them and why they're broken. And to me, that just seems like a silly excuse, because we had the Dedatrine event, which had, so like, they were kind of like freight elevators. They were basically freight elevators, but they came up differently. Yeah. That at the start had a rocky start, but worked really, really well towards the end of the event. I didn't have much problems with the Dedatrine stuff personally. I know some other people did.
Yeah.
But,
I think the advantage there was that most people were not using the freight elevators to get it. They were doing all the other stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So in this instance, it's like by far the like two fastest ways of doing the event were freight elevators, which theoretically were safe. Obviously, there's all the stories about people stealing from the back of the ship and whatnot, but theoretically that, and the like rescue the cargo, like the one where you steal the ship. Or whatever.
I mean, the Dedatrine stuff was the most fun I've ever had. That's when I first started dipping my toes into pirating. Like,
Dedatrine
we used to go to the outposts. It was so fun. Yep. We used to just go sit there and we would wait and get ready to ambush this team that was coming to get the Dedatrine and stuff, and it was great. It was great fun. But then
we did the opposite with Hitbo. We protected people running Dedatrine.
Nice.
Yeah,
it was fun.
I felt bad. I felt bad every so often because we would steal like a C2 full of Dedatrine or something, and it's like, they had no idea we're on the ship. Like there was no warning, there was no nothing, but it was still quite funny.
Yep.
I mean, and the profits weren't terrible. Like it felt balanced. Like it felt like actual. It kind of felt like actual content that was worth doing at the time.
Yep.
And yeah, like I mean, you know, we got CZs that had freight elevators and they had a rocky start. So it like baffles me that they decided we'd make another event around freight elevators, despite them notoriously being broken for years on end before.
I mean, look at them on the report. They're acting like they didn't know. It's insane.
I know. It's so silly.
I think if I remember, like I recall a specific issue with freight elevators happening as soon as we hit 4.0 and we had 600 people. And I'm trying to remember how freight elevators felt just before 4.0. And I can't. I kind of just can't remember. My brain doesn't go back that far. But were we in a state pre-server meshing that freight elevators were like okay-ish?
No.
I think there was so many bugs that one's kind of like whatever was going on with freight elevators probably faded out of my memory.
Fair.
Freight elevators at outposts never worked.
Yeah.
Ever. Freight elevators in your hangar maybe sometimes worked. Freight elevators at outposts never worked consistently. Ever. Right. And we told them about that from that moment until now. They have no excuse.
Right. And that's why I say that they can't sit here and say that they don't have the data needed, or they haven't, you know, amassed amount of data to figure out what's going on. Like it just, I don't know. It just seems like a silly excuse to me. I might be just being negative, and you know, I don't know. I'm not a coder or anything, so I don't know all that shit.
I could tell you what, if they actually spent the time on it, it probably would have gotten fixed, but they didn't. And CZs had freight elevators, they were broken. Lazarus has freight elevators, they were broken.
Yep.
Hathor has freight elevators, you didn't really use them there, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But they were broken. So
that's what I mean. Like
you put all of your content. They just were, again, they were dumb enough for one patch to actually be that oblivious to make the intro mission at a freight elevator. If they weren't that dumb, we would still have broken, or we would still, they would still not be focused on fixing freight elevators and would be doing something else.
And that's, and it brings me to my next point too, that this is a failed attempt at a global event. And we've had global events before with Xenothreat, and those were actually fun when they worked. And this one feels like a really failed attempt at a PvE one. Personally, I think it just isn't exciting. Like I like to
only moving boxes. Yeah,
it's not fun. I'll go on, Croncy.
I was just gonna say, but like Mike said earlier, but the prizes are dope.
The prizes are great.
That's one thing that they kind of knocked out of the park with this one. Is like all the prizes, especially like in my mind, the naming of a, even though Hurston are cringe and I hate them, the naming of a jump point is a very cool reward in my eyes, right?
And
but it's just the way to get there. Kind of sucks.
Yeah, and it's great. Like I love the paints. There's nothing about the end of the event, like what I'm being given at the end, that I don't like.
The voice acting stuff is all really nice. Like there's a lot of
good.
True.
Yeah, that's a good element.
Right?
Yeah. The interacting, like actually, you know, having someone interact with you between missions rather than just pressing a button and being like, there you go there. Yeah. Right, that's cool. Love that.
Yeah.
But you know, the event needed, as a PvE event, it needed more risk. Not PvP risk, but PvE risk. I think they should have at least attempt, if they were going to do an event like this, they should have attempted to bring back like NPC pirates, you know, and you know, one of the fixes could have been
there is risk. It's just people have Idrises and Polarises because the game's pay to win, so there's no risk.
And not even that. Like once again, like the one where you steal the ship, you can do every time just ejecting out of a light fighter next to it.
Yeah, it's
without fail.
It's wild.
Like,
we will always find a way, and they keep thinking that they have all their bases covered. We will find a way to work around your silly mechanics that you're trying to get us to do.
Yeah, that's just a thing for like any game, and especially in early development where they just figure it out.
That's what we're here for.
But yeah, and then that brings me to, you know, the pads, and I genuinely think that if the freight elevators weren't working for this event, they should have re-enabled auto loading on both sides, no matter how, because it was going to be boring anyway, and that's not going to change until they decide to expand on cargo hauling as a whole. But it just saves players time, right? It's like it shows us that they respect their time and that they're putting in meaningful fixes. Now we're waiting to the next patch to get those fixes, when this patch was meant to be about the whole resource drive event, which is just wild to me.
Now you're just finishing it. You don't actually care about it in this 4.3.
Like, no one's gonna look back on this event and be like, oh, that was so fun, it was crazy, you know, no one's gonna look back and like think about the lore of this event. They're just gonna look back.
Why
and
do you
be
have
like,
those items? I don't know. I blocked it out of my mind.
there you go. Yeah.
I feel like you're gonna tell the story of that jump point used to be named this, but this event did that. But all of the stuff. I mean, the armor is kind of ugly, so I'm never going to use it unless it's mining armor, which it might be. But I love the ship skins. I love that. I have forever wanted ship skins that were company based, because you earn rep with that company, stuff like that. I've always wanted that, so I'm happy to see it. But
then there was the my other point, which was the issues with why isn't the event like more like multi-crew friendly or like group friendly?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
it was very anti that. Like, for an event that is literally pitting 4 teams against each other is the whole premise of the event. And it's a solo event.
I've had this conversation so many times with people, but like, I can't remember. You can quote me if people can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Yogi came on an SCL and discussed that they didn't want this to be the case. They didn't want to push people away from working together, and they wanted them to work together, because there was obviously an event prior to, I think, that SCL, like a couple months back, where it might have been in the Dedatrine one, maybe, where you couldn't share the missions at all, and everyone got really upset and, you know, triggered that we couldn't share missions, and it was just annoying. And they came on, and I'm pretty sure they said that, you know, they didn't want that to be the case. Now we're in Resource Drive, and that is exactly the case, where they're splitting points again. They're splitting money, which I'm fine with splitting money, but splitting like the actual SCU amount is crazy to me. Like, that's, I think 6 of us.
Because like the actual advantage of being with multiple people, the only one that I can think of is the moving of the cargo, and that is still going to be slower with 2 people together than it is 2 people solo doing stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like you're not actually incentivized to do it.
No.
Yeah. And it's what else? I forgot my train of thought. But yeah, I think 6 of us did the recover cargo mission, the large one, and I believe only out of 6 of us, I think we got like 3, maybe 5 points each.
That's a bug.
So
but
immediately,
it gives just one SCU to person for some reason. Nobody knows why.
Yeah. But essentially, like, their idea was to split those points anyway, so like they would have been split regardless. But that to me is just like, right, so why would I do this with 6 people so it could take, you know, 3 times longer when I could just go do it solo?
Yeah. I will say the one element of multi-crew like gameplay that has come about from this for me has been people generously giving me their cargo because they don't need it anymore. They've already finished theirs.
Yeah. I mean, people will, like, you'll be at the freight elevators and people will help you load your ships, and you know, it's a nice change.
Sick. That was awesome.
Yeah. Like, it was an enjoyable change to, like, it was actually it was refreshing, because typically, like, we're in an MMO and people don't really, how often do you really bump into people that want to help you when you're doing a mission or something? Like, typically people just go about their own business. I mean, I suppose everyone's experiences are different to that, but you know, that's why I want medical gameplay as well. I want that to be improved upon, because I miss being, you know, like, I go down, I'm like, I don't want to like automatically just press backspace. Like, I want the you know, the experience of like having a medic come get me, having the interaction with that medic, and it just being a fun, you know, fun overall. But that's just not the case at the minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. That's all I had to talk about.
Cool. Well, it was almost a 20-minute call, so it was actually quite a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Which we appreciate, because it was a good call. You touched on quite a few things that we wanted to talk about today. So
for sure.
Appreciate you guys having me.
All right, I'm
Appreciate it a ton.
Be good, man.
All right, later.
All right, I gotta call us. It's our normal 2-hour mark. The wife just came home. I got to bring the dog out because I haven't had an opportunity to do any of that. So we won't get to our last 2 callers. So I apologize to you guys. I know Avenger wanted to come in and talk Light Fighters. I don't know how much there's actually to talk about. Maybe there actually is. So maybe that's something that we do next week, especially if they continue on the Light Fighter tuning throughout the week, which I think they probably will. So yeah, that might be fun to talk about, especially what happened with the blade, because that was crazy. I don't know if you guys saw the blade. Just real quick, the blade had a giant capacitor, and you were able to take its guns off, so you could put on like CF repeaters, and they would have 150 rounds each. But also the stock guns on the blade were like much better. But yeah. So there's a lot of changes that are happening. Yeah, the meta's changing around. The Talon sounds interesting now. So there's a few things, but only guys like Avenger will know the true story, where we can just look from afar and be like, I kind of understand what's going on, but not really. So yeah, that might be a fun chat for next week. So maybe we'll hit up Avenger and be like, hey, maybe you're the first caller next week, and we'll talk about what's been going on. Because people kind of been asking, hey, what's the topic this week? And I'm like, I don't know, man. They don't do anything. I really should have put
things released this year. What do you want from us?
Yeah, I really, really should have put 2 and 2 together and went, maybe we need to talk about Light Fighters this week, but I didn't. So, all right. That's where we'll leave you guys. Thank you for watching, everybody. I appreciate it. If you're watching on Twitch, make sure you follow myself, Croncy, and Avenger One. Why not? And any other streamers that might be in the chat. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button, like, and all that stuff, because it really does help us very much. And hit subscribe, because it would be really cool if by the end of the year we hit 10,000 subs. We're super far away from that, but hey, maybe we get there. So thanks for that. And yeah. I think that's what we'll start with next week. So thank you for watching, and don't forget, I almost didn't have my phone, I thought. Don't forget
to answer the call.